I want to bring in our guest. He's our good friend, longtime friend, Pastor Jon Speed out of Syracuse, New York, and he's had a very
eventful,
exciting, eventful couple days. And so, if you don't know who Jon is, he was actually one of the founding members, if you will, of Babies Are Murdered Here, and he had a big part to play in that. And he's known Marcus for a long time, and we actually have the first sign, the original sign right there that he was a part of. Actually, you sent us that sign. Anyways, so Jon is a huge, longtime friend of ours, and so Jon, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So, tell us about the last 2 days for you. What's been going on?
Well, I got back from Washington, D.C., the March for Life, late Monday night, and the vote in New York was on Tuesday. We had several members of the church at the in the legislature, in the legislative building there, the Capitol building, with signs, protesting that bill, and they were there for about 7 hours, on their feet, just trying to make a statement. And the bill, of course, the rest of it, you've been talking about it, was voted in that night. I was just distraught, man. I mean, we did what we could. I contacted our legislators and all that sort of stuff, and we did really everything that we knew to do. And I was just burdened by the whole thing. I really couldn't sleep that night, and I was just praying, Lord, what could I do to make a statement that would be appropriate for this, the wickedness of this. And so the next day I just thought, you know what, I'm just having a day of mourning. I'm not opening the store today. They're not going to get my sales tax today. And so we just printed out a sign explaining that to our customers, and we ended up closing the store for the day and hanging that sign up, and took a picture of it. Guess we sent it over to Marcus, and next thing you know, the thing it went viral.
Yeah.
Literally viral. I've never had anything really go viral before.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I guess my wife's cousin contacted us today, said, you guys have your own hashtag now. So somebody's hashtagging Jon Speed.
That's amazing, man. I didn't even know that.
It's nuts. I was on Glenn Beck this morning briefly, and Shapiro shared it. Even March for Life shared it. Right to Life shared it. It's been all over the place, and we've got other interviews that I'll be doing today and tomorrow. And we've been getting orders. Glenn Beck pushed our website really hard, and so every 2 minutes the phone's been ringing here. They're just not used to seeing anybody do anything about this issue.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go out to the abortion clinics. I've had abortionists spit in my face. I've had them try to run me and my wife over with a car. You name it. That's the stuff that I think is brave, or whatever, if you can call it that. And even that's by the Spirit of God and by the grace of God.
Yeah.
But this was just hanging a sign in a window, and they're all acting like I went out to Boston and threw a big case of tea into the water or something. And I'm grateful, don't get me wrong, but it's been a little bit mystifying to me. That 5 years ago we do Babies Are Murdered Here. This really should have happened back then. But
God's timing.
I'm thankful. I'm very thankful, because it's giving us a platform now on the bookstore's Facebook page. If I post something up there, I get about 32 likes in a minute.
Wow.
And so I'm using it now to post up stuff on abortion, which is crazy from a business standpoint.
Wow.
But
amazing.
I'm using it instead of Babies Are Murdered Here right now, because it's actually more effective. It's crazy. Never would have seen it.
And you said there's been 7,000 more views of Babies Are Murdered Here since yesterday, correct?
At least. I haven't looked at it since this morning. I think Marcus looked at that.
And the thing I think we have been the most amazed about, and that we love the most, is the fact that there's all these pro-life groups that we have so vocally spoke against, right? That you said just kicked you out of a parade not too long ago, and they're now sharing your post. They're sharing Babies Are Murdered Here. We're extremely grateful. I told Marcus, it's like, all it took us was a stupid little sign in the window, right? Like, all these 5 years we've been trying to like get everybody to open their eyes, and that's all it took. It's, you know, like Zach said, it's just God's timing. But yeah, man, that's incredible.
No. Yeah, I think it's God's timing. Maybe we just weren't ready for it, you know, back then.
Yeah.
You know, sanctification wise or whatever, but praise God. I mean, better late than never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this I just saw a comment on the live feed, and this brings up a good conversation. I think you John has about 12 more minutes with us, so when you got to go, just let us know. We'll keep you on as long as we can. But I saw someone in the comments said something about that it cannot be stopped at a state level, right? And so we were talking about this yesterday. Zach and I were. Why is it that the pro-choice groups and the liberals get this? Why is it that they understand that it can only be changed at the state level? The same thing happened with marijuana, right? And now you have the pro-choice groups who are saying, oh no, we're not waiting on the federal beast.
Right.
You know, we're just going to do it ourselves, because that's how our nation was set up and established. It has to happen at the state level. And the problem we have is that the pro-life groups sit back and they're waiting for something to happen at the federal level, and it's never going to happen.
That's right.
It has to happen at the state level.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let Zach say something, but like when I saw this come across the other day, it's like, man, we need, and I know you're one of them, John, but like we need the Christians, we need the pastors in the state of New York to make a stand, to stand up, because they have to be the ones that are going to have to make a difference. It's not going to change if it doesn't come from the pulpit.
Exactly.
I think Zach was going to say something, but
no, I mean that's, man, shepherds instructing the people, but also talking to the magistrates, instructing the magistrates in terms of what God requires, especially at this juncture of such injustice reigning throughout the land. And you said it, man. Why is it the pro-aborts and the cheerleaders for death get this?
Yeah.
When for the past 4 decades now, you know, you have those within the pro-life movement who seem so content to take piecemeal victories here and there with the incremental abortion legislation, right? That says that you can kill a baby as long as it's under these circumstances. But the other side isn't playing that way.
Right.
They're not playing the little piecemeal game. They're coming for dominion.
Yeah.
They're coming for victory, and they know how to fight, and they're not really taking a break, right? They're not really sleeping on the job.
Yeah.
They are relentless in their pursuit of what they want, and they make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
So I mean, how is it that Christians and those within the pro-life movement just haven't seen that, you know, state level change, local change is the way to go?
Yeah. And we were just talking too, I think we did the math. Was there 5 states? 4 states?
I believe, let's see. I think 5. So 4 that we would say, I mean, if you're new to this discussion, there's 4 states right now solidly that have legislation trying to be pushed through, you know, personhood at conception, personhood of South Carolina. There are several abolition bills right now that would ban abortion outright from the moment of conception. That would be the difference between that and, say, an incremental approach, right? It would be end it, outlaw it, period, right? So there's a handful of states that are now really trying to push on the other side of things.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to get into that club as hard as we can.
Arizona will be on the map.
We're working on it. Well, what do you think about that, John? What do you guys say, brother?
Well, yeah, it really is. I think in New York, there's still actually hope. I think in New York, if we could approach the conservative counties and the conservative cities and villages in upstate New York, I think it's possible that you could create sanctuary counties and sanctuary cities for the unborn. Because upstate is basically disgusted with almost everything that downstate does.
Sure.
And I think that it's something I want to pursue is approaching pastors and approaching conservative politicians in upstate and say, look, let's show Cuomo that we can beat him at his own game, and we're going to declare these places sanctuary cities and counties, even if they don't have abortion clinics in them. Just say it's never happening here. I think there's a way, even in New York, as liberal as New York is, to at least, push back. And I think that's part of what this sign thing in our window did, is that it gave people some degree of hope that, hey, we can push back.
Yeah.
Right.
As simple as that is. Let's take it to the next step.
Yeah.
Let's do the next thing.
Right.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday too. It's just, I know it's sad for people like you in New York or like California or Washington or Oregon,
Live in such liberal states.
Yeah, where like really overall the states. Yeah. Well, I would just say the overall states like that are actually conservative, but because of where all the politics happens in a liberal area, that's where all the votes and stuff are at, and so it ruins stuff for the rest of you. They're like, no, that's not us. That doesn't represent us.
Excuse me, they don't speak for us.
I mean, that's
right.
why California is like legit trying to like separate into 3 states. Because they got the top half saying I don't want anything to do with Orange County. I don't want anything to do with LA and Hollywood and so it's crazy, but well, we feel for you, man. We're praying for you, and we just legitimately like asking God to have mercy on New York and not go full Sodom and Gomorrah on the state.
Yeah. Well, that's what this does. This is, I mean, what Jon has done is it's one righteous stand that God is blessing. So God is blessing that, and it's going to take more men and women making righteous stands like this one to make enough noise to show people we're not going to kill babies in our state, and especially Christians. Christians are the ones that have to take these kind of principled righteous stands, because if they don't, who's going to? If they won't show the community, if they won't show the cities and the towns and the local magistrates how to stand for righteousness, who's going to do it?
Right.
Because Christians are the ones that have the objective, unchanging, revelatory standard of God to stand on and say, no, this is wicked. This is evil. This is not reproductive health care, right? I don't care what it's called. I don't care what you want to call the bill, okay? But that's not what this is. And so it's going to take more principled stands like this.
How do you think we're going to get pastors to preach it from the pulpit? How are we going to get the body to start doing stuff like this?
Lead by example.
Exactly.
And that brings me. I don't know if we're gonna be able to play this video because it just got posted. I don't know if Carmen's gonna be able to pull up into the show today or not. But we've been going to the Phoenix City Council. We went yesterday again. I got to speak, and Zach's younger sister Desi, Thunder Jr. brought it yesterday.
Man, she was fire.
And so we've been challenging people now since,
and it's happening.
December. It's happening, yeah. So like
we need more though.
If you're watching, you haven't heard this challenge. I'm challenging you to go to your local city council and hold them accountable and tell them to end abortion. The official challenge, I guess I've been proclaiming, is that we want somebody in the top 10 cities in the U.S. this year to start doing it on the regular. We've been doing it since December. Zach's been able to do it a couple times. You've been able to do it a couple times. And
give us a liberal one. Someone go to Vermont and just
or L.A.
and just herald the
or
truth.
New York.
Yeah.
For goodness sakes, like Phoenix is number 6. I want the other 9 cities. And so, but you're right. We've had, what has there been?
There's one in Florida,
5 other states. People started doing that just since December. So we want people to start doing this.
One of our friends tried in Oklahoma.
Yeah, Shane.
5.5 hours he was at that meeting.
Yeah.
They closed it.
They closed it.
It's going to take some recon to
to figure that out. Yeah, but we always I keep mentioning Proverbs. Where it says where there's no prophetic vision that people cast off restraint.
Yeah. Right.
And so we want to put an end to that. We want to have a prophetic vision. And Jon, that's what you did, man. That's what you did with your sign. That was an opportunity for prophetic vision. You said, I'm not going to stand by and allow this to happen. And look what's happened. People are responding positively, and that's what that verse says that they will do. That they will love God's law. So man,
people will follow courage, right?
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Well, I know you got to get. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
For us, brother. My wife just held up a note for me and said that Fox and Friends wants to interview me Saturday morning.
Woo! Man,
yes.
God is so good, man.
I don't know. This is crazy, but just pray that God will use all that to do exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
To stir people.
Have you guys got any?
Movement.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
Did you get any negative pushback? Any hate messages on Facebook or Messenger or anything like that?
You know, only from people locally, not from all the major outlets that we've been on. It's just been some people locally who are not happy with us saying anything about it at all. So yeah.
Well, praise God, man. I really feel like God's blessing you, man, for standing up and doing the right thing and like I said, casting some prophetic vision. So we love you, brother. I know you got another interview you got to do here in a couple minutes. So I'm grateful for the time you're able to give us. And if you're watching, go support. Wait, that reminds me. What's your website? Where can people go?
For
the books
bookstore?
Yeah.
JonSpeedBooks.com. It's just Jon.
There you
Jon
go.
Speed Books, no H.
Look him up on Facebook. Share his posts.
Go get some printed works,
Go
y'all.
buy some books.
Yeah, but keep blessing this man. We love him. All right, brother. Well, thanks again, man. I know you got to get going, so we'll be praying for you and all these interviews and opportunities you have to further this mission and hopefully, God willing, allow us to be a part of ending abortion in our nation.
Yes.
Amen.
All right, brother. Thank you.
You got it, man.
brother.
Love you, man.